Welcome back from the break. You're watching Newsx and I'm Savri Jindal. In a notable escalation along the line of control, the Indian Army opened fire on a suspected Pakistani drone in the Nowshera sector of Rajouri district, Jammu and Kashmir, on the evening of January 11, 2026. Troops used medium and light machine guns to engage the drones that were spotted hovering near the LOC at around 6:35 p.m. over areas like Ghania, Kalsian village. This prompted counter unmanned aerial system measures, forcing several drones to retreat towards the Pakistani side. The incident formed part of a broader series of suspected drone intrusions across Jammu region that evening. Sightings began at around 6:25 p.m. in the Mankot sector of Poonch district, where a drone-like object moved from Tain towards Topa. Additional reports emerged from Dharmasal village in Rajouri, Khabar village in Rajouri, Barak in Riyasi district and Chak Babral village in Ramgarh sector of Samba. Security forces were placed on high alert following these multiple sightings, with ground search operations launched in affected areas to check for any possible drops of arms, narcotics or other contraband. This comes amid heightened border tensions following previous incidents like a weapon cache recovery in Samba linked to drone activity the day before. Reports describe the events as a concerning spike in cross-border aerial incursions, though no drones were reportedly downed and the objects retreated after the response. Joining us at this point in time is a very special guest. We're being joined by Mr. S.P. Ved, former DGP, Jammu and Kashmir. With us on the broadcast is also Major General Sudhakarji, senior geopolitical and strategic defense expert. Last but not the least, Major General A.K. Sivaj, former Chief of Territorial Army, senior defense expert, also with us on the broadcast. Thank you all for joining us on Newsx. And let me start off this conversation with Mr. S.P. Ved. So I'd like to understand from you, drone spottings have been sort of routine. However, in the past 72 hours, we are seeing a spike in the number of drones that are being spotted. When does this become a cause of concern?
Good evening to you and to my co-panelists and all the viewers. See, the weather at the moment in whole of northern India and particularly in Jammu Kashmir is quite cold at the moment, and there's a lot of fog. Even in Jammu, where I am speaking from, a lot of fog. The visibility is very poor, and you see the weather conditions being such, these Pakistani agents who are sitting across would like to take advantage of this, try to increase drone activity, try to drop maybe drugs, weapons. As you were mentioning, in Samba sector, only a day before, a consignment of weapons was recovered along with cash. So this is, I think, an effort for smuggling out some weapons inside the territory and tell their agents who are sitting this side to pick up the consignments. And because of the visibility and intense cold, they expect that army patrolling or BSF patrolling would be because of weather, they will have less visibility. Particularly in the Rajouri Poonch sector, there's a thick bushy growth. Do you have a ravine area, hilly areas, and visibility being so poor, I cannot look beyond 100, 50 or 100 yards. So imagine the fate of the patrolling party in Poonch sector or Rajouri sector, where there is a thick vegetation also over and above this, and intense cold. So I think taking advantage of these activities, I feel they are trying to increase and pump in as many consignments of weapons and drugs and whatever other things they intend to send to their agents here, because they are feeling that the local recruitment has actually drastically come down in Kashmir Valley. Here also, much of the terrorists who wherever reports are coming of the hilly and mountain areas is only Pakistanis, excepting few odd people who, for greed of money or for coercion, are being used only for survival of these terrorists. They are not able to do any major action. They are, in fact, we had contacts with these terrorists in hilly area of Jammu,
Right.
in Kishtwar, Udhampur, and Kathua, but they actually managed to run away, not able to do any much harm to the security forces of the army. Yes.
Right, so absolutely. Before we move forward with this conversation, there's something that I would like to show on my touchpad, which is going to help our viewers understand what exactly are we talking about when we talk about drone incursions. The first, let's go to my touchpad over here. Right. So the first visual that you see on your screens is from 11th Jan 2026. Flying objects entered the Indian airspace, hovered briefly, retreated towards Pakistan. That's the visual that we're tracking as far as these drone sightings is concerned. Number two on your screens is from 6:35 p.m. You can see we've marked Dharmsal. We've also marked Bharak. The first drone that was sighted was at 6:35 p.m. It came from Dharmasal village, moved towards the Barak region. So, of course, you can see that distance. It's not too much, as you can see, and the visual, of course, right over there of that drone that was spotted. Another visual that we've tracked very closely, we were talking about, of course, all of these villages, these sectors in Jammu and Kashmir. Gania Kalsian village is another one that we want to talk about briefly, because the second drone was spotted over there, and this is in fact in Nowshera. So, this is number two that we're talking about. The third one that we're talking about was at 6:25 p.m. It was seen coming from Tain towards Topa in Mankot. So, like you can of course see over here, we've marked both those places for you. So, it helps you understand, the small distances that have been crossed. And of course, on the left side of your screen is the LOC. So, you can see how close these two places are. Number four on your screens was at 7:15 p.m. This is why we say that there is a spike, because the fourth drone was seen hovering over the Chak Barbal village, which is in Ramgarh, and like of course you can see over here, this is where the drone was spotted. Number six on your screens is the Indian Army using the machine guns to engage with the drone. So that's exactly what happened. You saw those drones. You saw the Indian Army effectively responding back with machine guns, and that is when these drones retreated and went back. So that's exactly what happened. We've of course now broken it down piece by piece for you. But on that note, let me go across to Major General A.K. Sivaj to get an understanding from him. Sir, like Mr. S.P. Ved has said, the very fact that it's foggy, it's winter season, has that aspect being taken on as an advantage as far as these drones are concerned?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. See, the point is when the visibility is poor, then what happens is that these drones can come and drop the drugs, weapon, and ammunition this side, and their link man, the agent, and the sleeper cell and overgrounder can pick up, and they feel that the Indian Army may not be vigilant, and because the visibility is poor, they will not able to see more than about 2 to 300 meter. Now that is the way they will try to make use of it. Now this is a new trend which has started. We must know it. The line of control, the counter infiltration grid is very, very strong and very robust. Having commanded myself a brigade in Kupara and Machar, I know it is not able to be penetrated. And at the same time, they are trying to now make use of south of Pir Panjal, Rajouri, Poonch, Samba, and Kathua. But what they are trying to do is that earlier a terrorist has to infiltrate with the weapon. But now what they are doing is that the terrorist can infiltrate through Bangladesh, through Pakistan, and the weapons can be sent separately through drones and to Indian side. Now this becomes much easier for them, and that is the strategy which they are very recently following. Mr. Vaid was trying to convey, that in valley floor there are hardly about 30 to 40 terrorists are left, and majority of them are the foreign terrorists which has come from POK. The leadership of Jaish Mohammed, Lashkar Tobar, Hizbul Judaini is completely wiped out, and therefore the Pakistan now wants that this need to be activity, send more terrorists, send more weapon ammunition. There are dire need of weapon ammunition these terrorists do not have.
Right.
Though there some radicalization taking place south of Kashmir, but certainly we are successful in curbing it. So the new challenge which is come is the drones. You will find it even in Operation Sindhu. The drones play a major role. Now, what it need to be twofold. One is you have to have anti-drone strategy. Now, the drones which you have shown it, whether it is Rajouri, Poonch or Samba, they have come somewhere about a kilometer distance inside. They hover around and they very quickly went till the moment you try to activate, they are already gone that side. Now, your counter drone strategy has to be such that moment they cross the LC or IB, that drone must be put down. Initially, the MMG has tried to engage it, but they were not successful in getting it. Remember, just 3 4 days back, you found that drugs as well as ammunition weapon were found in one of the drone which had dropped it. So it's a new challenge, new strategy have to evolve. Counter drone challenge strategy is a requirement of the day, and that has to be such a strategy that it should not be so costly. It can be active and passive in both ways. I suppose this is a new challenge, and Pakistan, remember that just 2 days back, Jaish Muhammad, leader Masood Azhar, what he's saying, there are 1,000 terrorists which are sitting in a launch pad and training area. These are the suicidal bombers ready to come inside India. Now, so this is a big challenge which India has it, and we must project that thing to the world community that Pakistan must be placed in a grey list of financial action task force, and this is a country which only export terror, and they must be declared as a terrorist state.
Right. Absolutely. Let me go across to Major General Sudhakarji. So thank you for your patience. And I'd like to understand from you, despite the limited capacity of the payload, how effective are these drones as far as, them being delivery vehicles of high impact items like bombs, narcotics and small arms is concerned?
Good evening, Ashrafji. Thank you for inviting me to your show, and compliments to very distinguished and esteemed co-panelists. The capacity of the drones are, as per the current or contemporary warfighting norms are concerned, are may be limited, may appear to be limited, but that's how the limited offensive continues to happen elsewhere in the world. So this is the new normal that we should be aware of. And the weapon systems, the explosives, the counterfeit currency, and also the drugs which are being exported across are basically meant to revive the proxy war, which has taken a little bit of low profile consequent to Operation Sindoor Phase 1, and particularly it is to be understood that this spike in the drone activities in inclement weather is taking place across from Pakistan into India between line of control and IB. So this is that when you talk about Samba and Poonch, this is a stretch of roughly around 78 to 100 kilometers distance, and crow fly distance is around, I would say, 40 to 60 kilometers maximum. So on one option of analysis is that they could be showing the hands of future area of operation or interest, one. Number two, this could be a kind of a false alarm. They are trying to actually develop a feint attack sort of thing. And the third one could be, yes, the intent is very clear. They would like to exploit this. Now, how is the exploitation going to take place is something we need to understand. DGP SP Ved Saab has already brought out that the local recruitment of the jihadis has gone down, and also the terrorist activities have taken a little dip comparatively post Operation Sindoor. Now, this is to be understood in Jammu area. Recent past, there are more than 30 tunnels which were discovered by deep penetrating infrared platforms which could beam and detect these tunnels. The tunnels are 30-40 meters deep underground, and they are coming across from Pakistan into Jammu area. And the SLNs who participated in the Pahalgam attack on 22nd of April 2025, some of them, if not all, had used this tunnel to come across into India, then assemble at a point, and they grouped up, carried out rehearsal, observed the target area, and they carried out, perpetrated the attack. So this is a kind of a beginning of a big activity which they are planning. They are in a desperate mode because the wake up call which Pakistan has got during Operation Sindoor will take a lot of time conventionally to prepare itself, consolidate, and retaliate in a viable manner. So until that happens, they are very desperate to prove their worth, and desperate means it is the non-state actors which will come into play. Jammu has got another speciality, if I may say, for lack of correct expression. This is also known for a huge global caliphate coming up, and there are overground workers who are being taken into the group. There are also reported Rohingya participation in the group. This global caliphate is aiming to liberate Jammu and Kashmir. Unlike in the past, they do not want this to be integrated with Pakistan. They want it to remain autonomous after liberation. This is the new name which is coming up. Not many platforms have brought out, not the podcasters. And this is with a new dimension that this particular stretch is being activated. In times ahead, my assessment indicates or suggests that we may witness much more, many more such kind of transgression of the border and export of the lethal weapon systems coming from Pakistan with an objective, firstly to liberate Jammu and Kashmir, and the second one is to come onto the corridor, beyond the chicken's neck towards Pathankot, and disrupt the lines of communication, because this year, going by the weather forecast, the weather is going to be very, very cold. One. Number two, it is going to be foggy. Number three, the visibility is going to be poor. So they will make an ingress between the Jammu region coming right up to the Delhi and Meerut, and thereafter the defense corridor of Lucknow and Kanpur. So this is a new plan which is emerging gradually, because the ISI and ISIS, although nobody is talking, people may laugh at this as to how come ISIS is coming into prominence. They had joined hands in the year 2019 because ISIS failed miserably to establish a global caliphate. Therefore, they have gone in for small regional caliphate with the help of ISI of Pakistan, one in West Bengal, one has come up in Maharashtra, and one in Jammu region. Jammu region is the global headquarters of ISIS, which is aiming, singular aim is to liberate Jammu and Kashmir and not to allow it to join Pakistan, but to be independent and autonomous. And with that, I'll throw it back to you. If there is a second round, I have something more to add also. Back to you, Ashwari.
Yes, absolutely, there will be. But of course, both the major generals have spoken about and touched upon Operation Sindoor. Mr. SP, I'd like your thoughts as well. Post Operation Sindoor, how has India's anti-drone grid evolved to handle this rather sporadic epidemic of low-cost, high-frequency aerial incursions that we're looking at?
We have actually, post Operation Sindoor, inducted technology to counter drone activity by both the border forces were handling the LOC and the IB, and I think that is being made effectively use of. You saw how Army retaliated on the drone. It's sometimes you don't get your target 100 times. So it is not that every time you will be able to get it down, but yes, they are seeing the retaliation from the army. They retreated, and that is very effective. So I think that is being made use of. But your viewers must know, as my esteemed both the co-panelists outlined, it shows Pakistan is actually not mending its ways. And Operation Sindoor, which our Honorable Prime Minister said is on. Our CDS, our army chief, mentioned it. It is on. So Pakistan must know that this time it is not going to be uh, the, April and May last year's issue. This time, if Operation Sindoor once again gets activated, any mistake by Pakistan will be very, very heavy on it, and this assault will be terrible for Pakistan. But the Pakistan fraud marshal Asim Munir has got encouraged with the kind of treatment he's getting from Donald Trump, the president of USA, and knowing that he's getting support of also Saudi Arabia and Turkey. So I think he got emboldened. He knows even China will side with Pakistan in case of such an event, as we saw in earlier Operation Sindoor. So that is what is encouraging, and that is in fact the paradox, how all these countries, they talk that we are against terrorism and we are against, but when it comes to the personal interests of each country, there is no green or red line. They
Right.
support a rogue army like Pakistan, which has not only crushed its own people, it is openly following the policy of terrorism, global jihad, and the Gazba-e-Hind policy of it. On the front of terrorism, we are fighting it very, very effectively. The Indian Armed Forces, the grid is very confident and very strong. But one area I would like to flag before you and before my co-panelist and also the viewers, that one area which Pakistan ISI is pursuing is the jihad part of it, and that you are not only seeing in Jammu and Kashmir, I think rest of India also, and the kind of radicalization we saw of the doctors module only few weeks back, or a
Yes.
month or two back, and suicide bomb in Delhi shows how the radicalization of people is even highly educated people is going on in not only in Jammu Kashmir, in the rest of India, and that should be matter of concern. You have chain of madrasas running all across the country, maybe in lakhs. When you ask Google, they show only 24,000 registered, but how many of them are unregistered? So each madrasa has thousands of hundreds and thousands of children. They're all Indian children. What are they being taught? Is anybody seeing? They are being taught how to hate your own
Right.
countrymen, how to break your country. And over and above that, the radicalization online. Some of time they are using the encrypted channels. So we need to have a system all across the country in each district and state capital to monitor this. Unless we do that, this country will have a difficult time ahead. That's why you're seeing the phenomena of stone pelting everywhere, because they are being, unfortunately, these are Indian children being taught something against India's sovereignty. So that is very, very important. We need to think about.
Okay, all right. You know, taking from what Mr. S.P. Vaidya said, Major General E.K. Sivach, I'd like to ask you, why is Pakistan not mending its ways? I mean, what exactly are they achieving by this exercise of deploying drones, then retreating drones? They're essentially trying to needle India, but for what?
As far as Pakistan's strategy there, it is bleed India with thousand cuts. They know it that they can never win against India in conventional war. There is a saying in Pakistan that Pakistan army has never lost an election but never won a war. So the point today is that their survival and their existence is on anti-India sentiment. You know, the point, the type of information which they are feeding to their countrymen, that there is always a challenge which is coming from India side. You know, every country has an army, but in Pakistan, the army has a country. And remember that they are seventh, 1/7 size of us, or their population 1/8, and their economy is just about 7% of India. But they have 75% of the Indian Defence Forces. What is the small nation doing such a big army? Because they cannot even afford, they are a poor country. It is anti-India sentiment. They have created a false imagination to their countrymen that if they don't have strong army, the Indian army will come and take over Pakistan. Now this is a narrative they have set in the ecosystem which they have created in the country, and the hate they have developed for India as well as defense forces. Now the point today is that this hybrid warfare, asymmetric warfare of bleeding India with thousand cuts will not finish off. And this does not cost much, because there are poor people and these terrorists of Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaise Mohammed, they can be easily radicalized and they are pumped in inside India. Whether they die or survive doesn't make a difference to Pakistan. So it is a cheap option to Pakistan. They will not stop it at all. And there is a deniability factor in this. And no one else is going to bother about it. Remember, as far as US is concerned, it's least bother about Lashkar-e-Toba and Jaise Mohammed. Any terrorists which do not have its reach up till America, it has no meaning to US. You remember the Hillary Clinton when she came in 2013 in Pakistan, she has warned Pakistan, if you have snakes in your courtyard and you think it will only bite your neighbor, one day they will bite you. So this TTP which is biting them today is nothing but it is a offshoot of what they have produced in their mothership. So the point is that Pakistan still differentiate between good and bad terrorists. A terrorist which they send it toward India, Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaise Mohammed, they call them good terrorists. The terrorists which hit them like TTP, they call bad terrorists. Thinking that they will stop this strategy of sending terrorists inside India, it will be foolish for us to think on those lines. Pakistan is not going to finish. The ISI is making sure that these terrorists, if they cannot infiltrate through line of control or the IB sector, they should be sent through Bangladesh, through Nepal and other factors, and the weapon should be sent through the drone. A new strategy has developed. This Operation Sindoor has taught us many lessons. Remember that now drones have become a very important phenomena of the modern warfare. It started from Azerbaijan-Armenia war, where Azerbaijan won this war because they had a superior drone given by Israel and Turkey. So the point today is we have also evolved a strategy now, counter drone strategy. We have a drone battalions in our, drone platoon in our infantry units. There are drone brigade which we are creating. They are going to be very, very powerful, and we are going to give a lesson to Pakistan. Operation Sindoor has not finished off. It is just a pause. But thinking that Pakistan will change and will change for good, we are imagining something which will not happen. Remember, in the line of control, even in areas which used to be snowbound earlier, the infiltration used not to take place, but the drones can make it effective now. They can throw from that side also certain weapons, drugs and all that can be collected by their overground workers. A new phenomena, new thing, everything has become this thing. And very important point, madrasas. We are successful in ensuring that the terrorists have been eliminated in Kashmir Valley. But have we succeeded in ensuring that radicalization do not take place in South Kashmir? Unfortunately, it is still taking place, but reduced considerably. And this madrasas is the place where you find the terrorism start from the beginning. Also very important is a white collar terrorism. Now this ecosystem and this module is now spreading throughout the country, and the people who are affordable, who are rich, who are technically qualified, people like doctors getting in this is a cause of concern.
Right.
Earlier, we always used to think those who can come into a terrorist net are those unprivileged lot. But as on today, this white collar terrorism has now changed the complete phenomena of a modern terror warfare.
Right, absolutely. You know, the reason why I asked you what essentially Pakistan gets from doing all of this is because even as we speak, we've got information that a balloon has been found in Samba with pro-Pakistani messages written on it. So I don't necessarily know what's happening over there. But Major General Sudhakarji, you had a point to make. Over to you.
as I know, has always been a solution provider. So, what should our country do? That is the moot issue. Problem analysis is good. We have done more than adequately. I personally feel that we need to go across the border without boots on ground and take the battle into Pakistan. When I say this, whether we claim or not, one unknown gunman is doing a wonderful job that needs to be put in place and given its role and responsibility to carry on. But now the time has come, as against this new warfare which is taking a new dimension, we need to find out every drone has to be launched by a pilot, and a pilot has to have a location. There will be a launch pad, small, big, medium, whatever drones are, though they will have an internal pilot. During our time, we used to have internal pilot and an external pilot. I am given to understand that small drones have got one single pilot. And it is just not possible that the drones will be launched without the pilot. That means there is a human element. Number two, it will be operating on some kind of a electromagnetic spectrum. That needs to be identified by us accurately. Number three, the starting point and the end point. This trajectory has to be, pattern has to be read and has to be well assimilated and picked up by our people who are carrying out to work out a counter strategy. And therefore, wherever they are being launched from, today you have reported 6 drones which and calling it as a spike. Tomorrow, because I am a witness, I have been along the northern border, I have seen in Tawang and eastern Ladakh, there are occasions wherein more than 30, 40 drones in the evening hours have come across from China and they crisscross. It looks like a pyrotechnic. They cause a lot of mental imbalance and also the psychological moral ascendancy over our troops. So these things have to be factored in. We need to be proactive. If we have the counter strategy in place, well and good. We need to identify, neutralize them beforehand. We have laser beams, laser guns which have been developed. We have multi-millimeter weapon systems which are electromagnetic as also laser based. These things can be effectively used, and we need to make the line of control and the IB affected areas more formidable so that these kind of drones cannot penetrate. Right. Like the system we had, some kind of a dome during Operation Sindoor, we did not allow any of the projectiles coming from Pakistan to come and hit us anywhere. No damage. And it was definitely a very thumping success as far as the defensive mechanism was concerned by using offensive weapon system from our air defense integrated architecture. We need to have and establish, put them in place so that the things are neutralized well before they are launched from Pakistan. And the second point that I wish to highlight is there is enough of Hawala funding taking place in Pakistan. They are coming from Dubai, they are coming from Europe, like the way the Hawala funding is taking place to support the Hamas cause. Right. Although lately they have already surrendered, they have indicated to surrender the weapon system, but the money transaction has to be choked. And third and most important thing is the circuit, the supply of the drugs, the weapon systems and the ammunition. These things are actually coming from some particular place. There is a staging point in Pakistan. They come up to this particular place. They are assembled and loaded onto the platform. And this network has to be identified correctly. They busted with effective countermeasures from our side. Thank you. Back to you, please.
Right, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank Mr. S.P. Wave, Major General Sudhakarji and Major General A.K. Sawaj for joining us to take this very important conversation.